Hey Chem Crazy, how's it going? I'll be starting up in a little bit. Let's see. I need a reminder. How many Zestiria things do we have? Let's see. Let's enter the command. Ooh, there we go. Fought me there for a second. So we are at 77 tutorials, 12 Zestiria moments, and we're at 3 pretty butterflies. Ooh. Oh, we are so far away from the tutorials. Oh, Zestiria, you are certainly a game. So I think the goal of today's stream is to hopefully get the third party member. We're going to be introduced to a character I really don't like, and I feel it's pretty divided whether people like this character or not. And around this point, we'll probably start to see where my first time through, I started to have some misgivings about the game. But I think in terms of plot elements that are extraordinarily questionable, it might be a bit longer than this stream session. I'm trying to think because there's kind of like a little bit of filler before some major event happens, and I'm trying to remember if the filler was before or after 2 specific plot points. But I think we'll get a good feel for the third party member, I think. And people that have played through Berseria technically might be able to guess who this third party member is, maybe. But we'll see. So in the meantime, let us switch over to the game itself. Give it a second. It keeps asking me about the audio selection. It's just, to me, I don't understand why it does that every time. Oh, okay, I think things are looking okay. That intro. There's just something about it. Just every time it gets me laughing. I don't know what it is about it. Like when you hear it from the game menu, it's okay. But when you go from like the really kind of quiet, sad moment of somebody dying into that intro, it just feels really inappropriate. So we still don't have the ability to cross this bridge. So until this bridge is repaired, we won't get to, I would say, a moment in the game that I was not too happy about. Oh, okay, so chat, I had a feeling I left the game on hard by accident on that boss fight. So I will try to spare you the hard mode bosses. It's not that I can't beat them on hard, it's just that it's really tedious. So let's just put it back to normal. So I would say from the perspective of somebody that's played through it once, you could probably get through most of this beginning section all the way on hard and even the difficulty beyond it without too much of an issue. It's more when you cross that bridge, there's a specific boss that if we do not have a certain move on Mikleo, we are in big trouble because that boss fight is going to take forever. So I actually want to verify right now whether or not Mikleo has what he needs for this boss. Yeah, so here's what I'm concerned about. So see how he has things like he's got anti-armor, and it's water, and it's water, and it's beasts, and it's Therian. If we don't have an anti-dragon move for this upcoming boss across the bridge, which we have a little bit of time for to level him up. I think he needs to be about roughly level 14-ish, if I remember correctly. But if he doesn't hit that magic level, this boss is going to be really bad for us, even on normal, because the boss has basically really high resistance to water to the point we can't stun the boss. So if we don't have that dragon move, we are going to have to beat it without ever being able to hit stun the boss, which I did do once, but it was not pleasant or pretty. So I'm hoping we can avoid that through standard gameplay. And I would like to stress to you that I honestly really feel like they did not playtest the higher difficulties when things like that happen. So, plot summary. We've now tamed the water spirit. We have a vessel for the water spirit, and we have a worshipper, but we have to put our plan into action. So right now we're just returning to the sanctuary in order for the vessel to be blessed and to give the Lord of the land power. So somebody's saying Lady Maltron went to the sanctuary. Okay. So I feel like the bottom left corner is mostly the kind of dialogue we want to see for plot-related things. Although they're still talking about no sacred blade. I mean, come on. No, we know there's monsters in the underground Underduct. You're too slow, Rumors. Too slow. I don't see Maltran here yet, but I want to check one thing before we talk to him again. Oh, that banner. Aha.
Hey, isn't the Sacred Blade Festival also a religious celebration dedicated to the Lady of the Lake? Were you worshipped, Lila?
The Lady of the Lake is a traditional myth of the people of Lady Lake, hence the name.
Yes. Who cleanses our sins with the Sacred Blade? Who walks with the mist over the lake? Who vanquishes evil with flames of black? Who sings in the moonlight and comforts the lost souls in the dead of night? The Lady of the Lake, goes the story.
Whoa, Lila. You can walk on water?
Hardly. I weigh at least more than that.
That thing Alicia recited sounded like it might be several myths combined into one.
I would imagine so. The legend was already present when I first arrived in the city.
So wait, does that mean the Lady of the Lake was a different seraph?
Yes, but she was absent, so I accepted the Sacred Blade as my vessel.
So as to wait for the shepherd, right?
As you saw at the ruins in the waterway, Lady Lake has a long history of involvement with the shepherd.
Weren't you lonely all by yourself this whole time?
Not especially. When I got that way, I would distract myself by singing or listening to people's problems.
That's just like the legend.
Huh. I would bet that humans with high resonance were able to sense that.
And blended those tales with the earlier myths to form the current legend. We're seeing history get passed down before our very eyes.
Okay, so we're learning more about the myths and rumors. And it seems that we could talk to Lady Alicia. Although I realize her wings are not connected to her back. We'll fix that at some point. So she's just telling us to hurry to the sanctuary. She doesn't have anything else to say, unfortunately. I can't talk to... what? Okay. I have to be vaguely in front of him.
Oh, truly this power is the stuff of miracles.
Looks like he really can't sense us at all.
I shall worship this sacred water with all my being. O venerable Uno, I am yet inexperienced, but would that I could serve thee for all eternity.
But he is earnest. I'll at least give him that.
What was that? I feel like a sort of wind just blew right through me.
The blessing has returned to this town.
This town is now under my domain. But in order to maintain the blessing, I will need cooperation from the people.
Indeed, there are all kinds of methods besides prayer that one can use to uphold the blessing.
Like?
For example,
I see. I'll be sure to give it a try.
This sure sounds like a pain to me.
I will do what little I can.
What's wrong?
I can still feel a powerful malevolence. And it's not far off. It's somewhere in town.
That's the Royal Palace.
So this is a conversation with the Seraphim? A bunch of lunatics talking to themselves out loud?
You are?
I am a messenger from Chancellor Bartlow of the Highland Government. I have come to invite Saray to a private dinner conference in light of his great suffering for the sake of Lady Lake.
Have you been watching over Saray?
Not at all. In fact, I was quite surprised that the Princess of Highland, as distant as her claim to the throne may be, would have relations with the shepherd that are so intimate. I'm sure this news will please your beloved subjects to no end, Your Highness.
If you are insinuating that...
Alicia. Where to?
Roundtable Palace.
Very well. Tell Bartlow I accept his proposal.
Please, you mustn't get involved with the Chancellors. I can feel it from them.
The malevolence does seem to be coming from them.
I apologize for being so weak.
Don't worry, it's true. We really do want to see what's going on at the palace.
It'll be our first time. You'll have to be our guide.
Just as you have been to me.
Blessing for Lady Lake region has been restored. See that, chat? Oh, it was inevitable. It was inevitable. Lords of the Land. It is now possible to access Lords of the Land from the save points where the Lord of the Land has been unlocked. Fighting battles in those areas will raise the blessing level, depending on the grade you receive. Grade will automatically count towards the blessing level when you touch a save point. As the blessing... When you touch a save point? Wouldn't it count before then? Anyway, as the blessing level goes up, you will gain access to boons with various effects. So... I'm going to count this as another tutorial because this is now, it went from just a generic description to actually opening up a menu to go through it. So I'm going to count that as a separate one. So now it's telling us the Lord of the Land menu that we'll see if we select it on the save point. So basically the only thing we will really be taking advantage of in this playthrough will be the save point travel. The set boons take a while to unlock, and we will probably not see it very much. I might save up for one specific Lord of the Land, as I said before. And the idea is that you keep leveling items and you sacrifice them for more grade. So if you get a lot of bad items on hard mode and you're done with enhancement, you could just do this for extra grade. So we could see that we've earned a total of 27 grade so far for Uno. So I'm not 100% sure how we got another 70-something points that didn't count towards it. I mean, we had some fights in the forest, right? But we got more... I feel like we got more than 27 grade in Lady Lake, unless it doesn't count the dungeon. Then that kind of makes sense. Maybe it just means the overworld. I'm not 100% certain, because to me that seems like that's too low. I would have expected it to be like 50 or 60. But in any case, it's saying we can't travel to save points now. So technically Alicia is here, but we can't go to it. We could check the boons. So it says you can enable boons to take effect as long as you don't exceed the maximum boon cost. The boons largely have battle-related effects. Raising the blessing level will add new boons and increase maximum boon cost. You could raise the blessing level by earning grade in battle. So one thing we should probably do is Traveler's Repose. Oh, here's what I was thinking of. I remember treasure chests could be restored over time. I forgot it was a boon. So we'll activate that because I guess it wouldn't hurt if we were just traveling back and forth over and over and over across the same areas to restock the treasures. So let's take a look at the other ones, but we won't be seeing these for the most part. Oh, it won't really tell us more. So again, if you were looking to get very specific items, drop rate boost is probably the best of these. I don't remember using most of these. I don't feel healing detection was all that useful. I feel healing arrow and miracle of life were okay if you're playing on the highest difficulty, but I don't see why this would ever be important on the lower difficulties. And I don't remember Sanctification, what that does whatsoever. Hey Chris, how's it going? So if we don't want to sell items for money, we could just offer them as is. I believe if you put levels into the gear, it gives more. So here's an example. So we could see that because these have more spirits, they're worth a little more. But once we start swapping out equipment, we'll see some differences here. I believe. So we could get rid of black stuff because we will probably not use this whatsoever. So for the most part, what I end up doing, from what I recall in my playthrough, is I basically had everybody cooking. So even if I didn't use the healing items, I would just sacrifice them for grade. So we'll save the rest of these up, I think, for later. We'll need hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of points. So if I give up black stuff there, I don't think it makes a big difference. So it seemed like we just got a costume just then. And also it says that we have a couple battle actions. Also, we suddenly have 11 more AP. I'm not sure when that happened. Press B after casting a Seraphic Art, and if you've learned a higher Seraphic Art, the casting will continue switching to that. Okay, it doesn't cost anything. We might as well do that. Partner Blast is okay, Chain Blast is okay, Quick Banish, as I said before, is good for combos. We'll probably try that one out, because otherwise your combos in the Armatized form are very, very short. I don't think we have any other one-pointers. But hey, we unlocked new things. So if we fight 22 more battles on moderate or higher, we'll get another one. There should be one for hard mode, I thought. But in either case, we have to play a lot of hard mode. I think it's like 100 battle. I think it's like 50, 100, 200 or something like that. But I could be a little off on the numbers. But essentially, we have to play higher difficulties. X number of battles in order to get the higher difficulty ones. So I'm just taking a look at our titles. So our titles are actually doing pretty well here. So we're kind of low level, and I know we're getting invited into the palace. We could directly... Actually, speaking of which, I want to verify something. So if I hit L2, that should be the icon guide. Okay, they did put Lord of the Land on the map thing. That's good. Purple Star is Iris Gem episodes. I wasn't paying attention to that. I thought it said side quests before. So anyway, we can either talk to the Lord of the Land directly to... Oh, hello, another skit.
Well, time to get working on these offerings.
You're really getting into it.
I ought to be. The blessing has returned to Lady Lake. But now the problem lies in maintaining it. We will need to do all we can.
That's very true. The blessing is preserved only through daily attention.
Okay, we'll make sure we don't neglect our offerings either.
Right. Reinforcing the blessing will probably make it easier for us in the long run.
I wonder if he would enjoy rice balls, like in that book.
Your offering is rice balls?
I don't recall that being part of the Celestial Record.
Oh, no, it was from a picture book. A little girl chased after her rolling rice ball and wound up meeting a seraph. That was one of my favorite stories growing up, and I just thought...
I should have known. Sounds like your kind of book.
I have no doubt he will appreciate it. It's not often you get a rice ball packed with authentic emotion.
I hope so.
Okay, so we can see we now have two different menus here. I'm going to save, however. So we're coming up to, I believe, an opportunity to get a ton of experience and grade. So if you were looking to sort of quickly get grade towards the Lord of the Land, but you didn't want to wait to come back for many hours because you wanted to get the benefit early, I believe we're about to go into a long series of potential fights, starting in the palace. But for now, we have to attend the dinner service and see where it takes us from there. So we've saw a couple of skits. Let's go and rest to see if we could get another skit. I just remembered why that door in the aqueducts was sealed, and I will not tell you about its purpose, but I now remember why I remember that dungeon so well. We'll be coming out of there from another dungeon very soon. And I'll leave it at that. No new in skits. Interesting chat. Actually, one question. Oh, actually, this will help us, chat. So I don't think I looked at some of these. I'm not counting these as tutorials. Discovery points. So I have missed a discovery point somewhere, and I'm not sure where. Chat, this is gonna bother me. It has to be outside of town. I don't think it's in town. Let's see. I was hoping we had all of them, but apparently I'm still missing one. Oh my gosh, chat. Look at how many combinations of abilities there are. Oh my god. Chat, do they really expect you to memorize 106 different unique combinations? Like, just think about that for a moment. Like, we eventually have... Well, the game assumes that we will eventually go through and try to optimize our equipment. And so we have to sift through all of these ridiculous number of skill bonuses. So I think what we'll end up doing is we will try to look outside town next time that we are out and about. I think I know which discovery point we missed. I don't remember if it results in a skit or not, though. So I wanted to check something. So apparently we have viewed 22 skits so far. Now it's a little confusing because if I remember correctly, there are close to 300-ish skits, but the way they've categorized them, I'm not sure if they all count as skits, because there's like a good 50 or 60 or so that are, I would consider tutorial skits, but I will not count towards the tutorial counter, since you can actually avoid those. I want to check out here actually before we go too much further. Unfortunately, we keep getting black stuff as the cooking result. I'm just trying to think about this. There should be a discovery point somewhere, so let me take a look at the map. Chat, let me cross the bridge to the south. I have a feeling I know where it is. See how there's those flowers up there? I think that's where the discovery point is. I remember looking for this the first time I was here. I don't recall what it was, though. But let's head towards those flowers. Ah. Instinct guides me correctly.
What's that?
Well, thank you, point of interest detector being way too slow. We found a beautiful butterfly. There we go, and we got that AP. That was gonna bother me, chat, because I felt like I've been doing pretty good on the discovery points. Okay, now we could continue with the plot. So, we're gonna be offered to go inside the palace, and I guess semi-spoilers, we're never gonna get another chance to go inside of it again. So if there are treasure chests that you are interested in, if you, for whatever reason, decide to play this game, make sure you grab them. It seems like you would come back into the palace given events that happen leading towards the end of the dinner conversation, but you never do. We'll talk about that, I think, at the end of a different stream session. I feel like they're setting something up with the Chancellors here, chat, and I want you to remember that they're putting a lot of emphasis on their scheming and their deviousness and the fact that they are sources of malevolence. Like, I want you to remember this in about, maybe like 8 or so stream sessions. Just remember that they were putting a lot of focus. Like, we had that one guy following us around, claiming not to have followed us around. And he's saying, isn't it convenient that we seem to have a relationship with the princess? And it seems like it's going somewhere. I want you to file that in the back of your mind as we continue throughout the rest of the game.
What's this about?
Forgive me, Lady Alicia. Lord Bartlow's orders were to allow Shepherd Saray through. We didn't know he'd have a companion.
His Eminence Lord Bartlow is with a visitor at the moment. Please accompany me to the waiting room. This way.
Him Crazy is asking if that's the 4th butterfly. So, we're using a very different kind of counter for the butterflies.
I cannot believe this.
She apparently cannot believe this. So, we're keeping track of every time Lila dodges a question with the butterfly counter, just for clarity, because we showed that off at the beginning of the stream. Hi, Alicia. Oh, I can't talk to you. I get the controller no respond. So, we can kind of wander around the palace to some extent. We'll get another chance to wander around, because these hallways will open up, and that's where the treasure mostly is. So for now, there's not really a point to doing so let's just leave. We'll be able to free roam here in a little bit. Okay, so for now, we'll be obedient.
Please, wait here for the time being.
So now we can talk to them to further the plot, but let us go into the edit mode. And let's move it closer to her back. Okay, good thing I could zoom in. That's closer. I know, we're gonna take every cutscene in Zestiria extremely seriously, chat. So fortunately, all the fights you get within the palace, and I believe the resulting place we're gonna go to after we're done with the palace, still count towards the grade total. So I think when I first played the game, I almost got every single mastery in one try. I'm sorry, what did he say about floating? Oh, is the book floating? Oh, because he sees Micleo.
I remember this place was in the Celestial Record.
What was he referring to? Was it these? No. He's looking at something more specific. What was he looking at? Was it the China? Oh, it's the bookshelves.
Whoa, there's like infinite books.
Just what you'd expect from a royal palace. Quite a collection of rare and valuable tomes.
Lots that deal with history and ancient relics too. Oh, I just want to sit and read them all.
Oh my, this book has an interesting title.
Mad Screams of Love. A poetry book, maybe?
Let's check it out.
Yeah, careful. It's gonna look like the book's floating in midair.
Don't worry, Alicia will hand wave it away for us somehow.
Oh, here, gimme. I'll hold it.
Wow, Mad is right.
An ode to young passions, a lonely voice, screaming love and anguish to the heavens.
You just know the author's gonna look back at this 10 years later and cringe. Angsty doesn't even begin to cover it.
So that's what's so mad about it.
Really? It all sounds pretty good to me.
Huh?
Saray, I think that's because you're so...
So inherently enthusiastic.
You guys okay? You look kinda... mad.
Oh, Saray. So one thing I'll also say in Zestiria's favor is I could be mistaken, but I feel like this is the first time they started doing like a series of different animations during the skits. So a lot of the times the skits would kind of play out either in the in-game graphics, or maybe you would get like a static picture or two when they were kind of working through them. But I feel like they were a lot more animated for the hand-drawn one. So I feel like they decently express the character animations, and they have them moving around and things like that. I feel like for the ones that did do the drawn versions of the characters speaking, I don't think they moved around and kind of shuffled about to simulate movement. So I thought that was kind of a nice touch with the game. Alright, so we're basically stalling for our reception.
Lord Bartlow is ready for you. To the Round Table chamber, if you please.
Oh, his little headpiece, like,
Please wait here,
flicked randomly.
Princess.
Why?
We were told that you were to receive different orders.
About Marland?
Yes. Please stay here.
Fine.
Alicia?
It's about a yet unfinished job. Sorry, but I'm staying behind after all.
This way. I shall guide you to the Round Table chamber.
We're just gonna clip on through people.
Did they leave her behind on purpose?
I bet they did. The malevolence isn't gone yet.
So I think we'll be making our way here, ultimately, if I recall correctly. So we'll keep in mind that there's some kind of room that's completely sealed off to us still. Our massive wings. Oh, we're gonna clip on through. Yeah, clipped on through. This game is really big on its walking sequences, and I'm like, it just doesn't work in this game. Like, I can't do anything until he catches up. I honestly don't even know why they have them. Like, it's really obvious where he would be going. Alright, now I have permission to proceed. I guess we'll talk to the guard once. Yeah, he just tells you to proceed down the hall. Nothing too interesting. Oh, don't worry. The idea that they're invisible and impossible to hear, yet nobody believes in them, is completely absurd in this universe. It's one of those things where it's an idea that sounds neat in concept, but is like in reality and in the game, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it'd be cool, like, there's just like invisible people you just never knew about, but then it's like, but why do they want to still remain invisible? It's not like they couldn't be seen if they didn't want to be. Right? Like, it just makes less sense the more you think about it. I feel like that's Zestiria in a nutshell. It makes less sense the more you think about it.
Sorry to have kept you waiting, gentle shepherd. Please, take a seat.
So I
Poison
think...
pot pie.
Don't worry. I promise you it's not poisoned.
We simply felt it would be best to be closer to you.
Let me introduce you. This is Military Chancellor Mathia, leader of the Royal Army. This is Professor Simon, administrator of the law in Highland. And this is Archbishop Nathael, the highest-ranking holy man in the kingdom.
And last, the man who manifests the will of the king himself.
Bartlow.
I'm Saray. Thank you very much for your invitation. We have much to discuss.
Her sunglasses.
Whoa, Saray, I hope you don't trust them.
He does indeed have spunk. That, or perhaps he's just that much of a simpleton.
It's quite delicious, though I would have liked to let Alicia taste it as well.
What is your relation with Lady Alicia, if I may ask?
We're just friends. She invited me to come to the outside world with her.
How about we drop this silly game and have you tell us the real story,
They're suggesting that you and Alicia are using each other, hatching some sort of nefarious plot together.
I'm not using Alicia. The Shepherd does not do such things.
Oh, he doesn't. I couldn't say. I've never actually seen a shepherd before.
So they doubt you. I figured as much.
Believe me or don't, I don't care.
Well, we do care. It would be quite the scandal if the royal family had produced a false shepherd to curry favor with the populace.
Careful. And so you're asking for proof that I'm the real Shepherd?
Truth be told, it matters not whether you're real or just a boy in a silly outfit. The issue is that regardless, the citizens are beginning to side with you.
It's the nature of the people to yearn for some dramatic sort of salvation. An easy way to have their every desire fulfilled.
True, the Shepherd in every era has always suffered greatly from the people's grandiose expectations.
The common man is but a fool and a cur. It's an unfortunate observation, but that is the reality of it.
But in fact, it is for that very reason that we need you.
Me? Why me?
I will be perfectly frank with you. We are asking you to work under us, Shepherd Saray. As the shepherd who would protect Highland, we want you to reinvigorate the people, boost their morale.
The rampant disasters have rather dampened the people's spirits lately. It's very unfortunate for the Council.
Those ignorant fools. Right when we're on the brink of war with Rollins.
We will reward you handsomely, of course. This is your advance. If you're really all the rumors say, I hear that you're quite interested in ancient ruins, yes? Were you to side with us, surely this would be sufficient to facilitate your explorations and archival activities, would it not? There's no point in siding with Princess Alicia.
The princess is to be transferred to the city of Marland, where the epidemic yet thrives.
They're sending her to a plague town?
Surely even our spirited Princess Knight will learn her limits after toiling in such a star-crossed locale.
Of course, if she herself were stricken with illness, I suppose she would have bigger things to worry about.
She's that evil laugh.
So then, Shepherd Saray, there's nothing to even think about, is there?
I refuse. Darn. Guess they weren't the type you can sit down and talk with after all.
Probably better this way.
Proud words from a false shepherd. You and Alicia will both learn the hard way what comes from crossing us. Wait!
What on earth is going on here? What are armed guards doing in the palace?
These are Lord Bartlow's orders. Ugh.
Lord Bartlow, what is the meaning of this? Stand down at once.
Nice castle, but we're done here. Let's go, Alicia. I can fulfill my dreams without your help. And the same goes for Alicia.
Indeed it does.
Death to the knave shepherd who deceives the people! Stand back, Alicia, or you'll get hurt!
So, chat, I would just like to start with one thing. I am pretty sure... we could figure out if I'm wrong. I am pretty sure we will see them exactly one more time for the entirety of the rest of the game. I just want you to think about how absurd that is. Just think about it. I'm pretty sure there's only one other time we see them. And we never come back into this palace again. So these guards are not too difficult, as I said before. If you really want to build up grade here for whatever reason, this is a pretty good way to do it. I feel like they're worth a lot more grade than the forest enemies outside.
Saray has just gotten too powerful. Wonderful!
Saray, listen! You have to hold back a bit.
I don't know that I can.
We just can't go on like this.
I think I cut off their dialogue because I won too quickly.
Could he truly?
Lord Bartlow, we will forgive this transgression. In exchange, you will never threaten the Shepherd again. Am I being clear?
Impossible. He'll plunge the kingdom into upheaval. And if by any chance he were to fall into Rollins' hands.
As the candles go out.
I'd be more worried about your own neck if I were you.
Who are you?
Scattered bones.
Assassins!
Yes. That man approached us and tried to hire our guild to murder your princess here.
Are you saying Lord Bartlow was plotting to kill Alicia?
Don't be ridiculous!
He says we're liars. Should we kill him?
Stop! I beg of you, please stop. The Kingdom of Highland needs this man.
You're all you're made out to be. Listen and listen well, Bartlow. We do not kill against our own honor.
Understood?
Why?
He's fine. They didn't kill him. Not your usual assassins, are you?
I'm impressed they snuck into the palace.
Apprehend them! They're the conspirators!
Not good.
Thanks to you, our work was quick and painless.
Here's your reward. Follow us.
So chat, I have a really important question. Why did that scene even happen? Chat, we should discuss this as I try to get through the rest of the palace. Like, no, I'm dead serious. Why did that scene even happen? Like, what was the point of the assassins revealing themselves to us? Like honestly, what was the point of that scene from like their perspective? Like that was for, you know, the player has to know the assassins are filled with honor. But I mean, like, why did that scene even occur where it occurred? Like, why did they wait until they were all in one room? Why did they reveal themselves to outsiders? Why did they show up and then only hit the guy and run away? Like, I have so many questions about this scene. On the plus side, I kind of like this music. So we have the Archbishop who's kind of filled with evil. Everybody's vowing their revenge. I think the only person that might show up again is Bartlow. And you'll see what I mean later. But yeah, they play such a minor role in the scheme of the game, it doesn't really make any sense. So, to humor ourselves, one moment. I'm gonna put it onto hard briefly, as we explore. So we're basically not allowed to come out the front entrance.
We'll have to break through.
We can't. They might die if I use my power.
Hurry, this way.
They might die if I use my power.
Is everyone ready?
What a shame, I guess they're gonna die.
Burning shards! Burning shards!
Oh, it would be such a shame if they perished, chat. Tutorial. Advanced techniques. By combining various techniques from the battle section of the system book, you may discover new, unconventional interactions between them. It can't hurt to go back and read up on subjects you've mastered in case it triggers any new realizations. Some monoliths will also give you tips on advanced techniques. Chat, what an absolutely trash tutorial that one was. It's like, maybe you should read the system book. By the way, advanced techniques exist.
I am ready.
Tiger Blade! It's over!
Yeah, I remember these enemies being very easy, even on hard. So again, if we want to build up some grade for later, it doesn't hurt to have some now.
Shall we begin?
Now the downside is we're not getting a lot of meter back, so I have to be a bit more careful during this phase. One other thing I want to mention, and I actually don't think the tutorials cover it, but Chad, you would be able to tell, because I have a terrible short-term memory. So when we're injured, you might have seen that sometimes we get a little blue bar. Like Mikleo on the bottom right is the best example right now. So if I were to armatize with him, I would actually cause his blue health gauge to recover when we split apart. I don't think that's actually covered in any of the tutorials. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think at any point we learned what that blue bar does.
Shall we begin?
But yeah, this is definitely a massacre. Oh, I got hit. That's a shame. So unfortunately, if I don't get hit, I end up with like 7 grade, but if I do get hit, I'll end up with only 2 or so. Please, armatize? No? Oh, okay, I guess they're just refusing to armatize. That's fine. We'll move on. Camera, please. There we go. This is being really stubborn for some reason.
Well done.
So again, we're just getting equipment proficiency. We're just gonna explore each of the side rooms. We'll get our... We need a little generic experience. So I figure this wouldn't be too bad. So fortunately our allies are getting pretty injured. So let's check this side room out. Hey, look, a treasure chest. And again, we'll be taking advantage of that every time they cook an item. It's going to result in grade that we could kind of transfer between areas more easily. Wow, I comboed that guy into oblivion, chat. But seriously, the camera in this game is terrible. As you can see, it just cannot handle walls at all.
You were quite strong.
Okay, so we're looking at another area. Nothing in this room, unfortunately.
Shall we begin? Yeah!
So now we're kind of at the awkward point of the game where I need blast gauge. So I usually just kind of do a single strike and then guard. I remember doing that to build blast gauge every now and then. So I'm going to do the same thing here, just to build it up for next time. There we go. Some treasure chests that are never going to be seen again if we don't come back here. So we might as well collect them. So many fights, chat. Again, remember, chat, the game said to hold back our power, we might kill them. I think we can all collectively have a big eye roll. So I believe that's all the doors we could go to. I don't think we could cause them to dangerous encounter, which is kind of interesting that they can't do it for some reason. You would think here would be like the best spot for dangerous encounters, but nope. Game stops it for some reason. Huh. I didn't get injured there, but we didn't get a lot of grade at the same time. That's strange. What a massacre. So I'm just curious how close we are in general, because if we get the battle action here, it might not be too bad. So I need to do 10 more battles. I think we could do that, chat. We could do 10 more battles, chat. That won't be too tedious. We're going through these pretty quickly. And we could still explore other rooms as we go there. So that's why I was thinking this would be a good place to keep up on our hard mode battles.
The strength of a knight.
So again, we'll be skipping a lot of the combat dialogue. But hey, hard mode, yay!
You were quite strong.
Wow, I just killed them all with the summon animation. So there we go, we've explored that hallway. Let's clear out these people. Again, we do need experience. But unfortunately it's hard mode, so we're getting greatly reduced experience. But it is what it is, I suppose. Better than nothing.
Victory is ours.
Okay, let's continue on this way. There we go, nice little auto dodge in there. I'm gonna guard just to get more meter.
Indeed.
Good enough. So we should be coming up to our 30 kills at least. And that's another moment where I was holding down the back trigger in order to do the banishing strike, but I just did the heal move instead. I genuinely think there's something not right. So I feel like it's actually a little worse than the PS3 version for some reason, which I didn't think was possible.
My will shall pierce.
Hey, we learned a new battle action. So I believe this is what we got. Appealing guard. When defending, the attack frequency of enemies targeting you increases. So that's good because that drains them. Well, first of all, it focuses them on you instead of the AI partners, but I think this also causes them to run out of steam quicker. Because I mentioned before that every enemy technically has like a secret magic gauge, so if they keep targeting you, they actually burn out quicker that way. Conditions to acquire higher art. Let's see. Do 1,000 battles. Well, we saw the combo one. Do 200 battles. So, okay, so we need 30, or no, we need 4 more to get a new action. We're not going to do it on moderate for a while. Maybe we'll leave it when we're in the overworld on moderate, but as I said before, the game is really stingy with experience. So maybe we'll save that for much later in the game. So, okay, so there's nobody in the hallway here for some reason. So we're gonna go back and clear up, I think, 4 more battles. And then we'll check each of the other doors. There we go. It's about time we saw that. I've been trying to use that for a while. So maybe the game is finicky as to when I can hold the right trigger in. Let's experiment, chat. Because so far it's not been triggering very often. So maybe I have to finesse it a bit. Even though it's a hold button down, which to me should not be something you should have to finesse, but that's besides the point. Alright, so we're gonna have enough meter to try it out for next battle. So we must be pretty close to the next one. As I said before, you unlock the higher difficulties by playing the harder ones. X number of battles. So we should be pretty close, if nothing else, to a new battle action. And then we probably won't touch the difficulty again for quite some time.
You were quite...
So haven't unlocked it quite yet, but we're very close, chat.
Focus, guys.
And again, we need the experience, unfortunately. Okay, so I think the game... Oh, that actually leveled us. So I think the game actually will not do your finishing strike if you hold the right trigger before your third move comes out for whatever reason. But if you start holding it on the third move, then it'll work. But not before then. So we learned a new art, we learned a new battle action. So we got Sword Flare. So we could get most of our attack ups. So now we have access to fire. But okay, so here's something that's really annoying. True Fang takes up 3 of these, and honestly, it really shouldn't have taken up 3. I forget if this eventually gets replaced by more elements or not, but essentially we really need to be able to do fire damage later, and we're stuck doing wind or non-physical as the first strike. Now technically what you could do in order to skip this phase of your combos is you could forward dash, because evading counts towards your number of moves in a combo. So technically you could always dash forward into Sword Flare, but the weird things you have to do to get around from the system limitations in this game just frankly don't make a lot of sense. Character change. With X plus direction, switch controlled characters as follows. Chat, I would just... Chat, I would just like to state, the ability to switch your controlled character should not be a unlockable action that requires points. I think that deserves an O Zestiria. Why are you charging me points to do something I could do in literally every other Tales game? Like, literally any other Tales game. Very questionable, chat. So we unlocked Reviver. Armatize once when taking fatal damage, automatically releases Armatization. This is extremely useful in the highest difficulties. This is kind of the safety net. So I don't think we can see... So it's kind of weird in the way this list works. So it looks like we're basically at the end of the list, but secretly there's other conditions that we're slowly satisfying. But until we get one of every category, we can't see the other ones that are pending completion. So we've banished Armatization, Blast, Technical, Defense, Control, Supports. But I'm pretty sure there are more actions we can learn. But because we haven't played on the highest difficulties and unlocked one of them, I think there's ones below Banish as an example. Where even a good example is that there was things like Armatization and Blast before, but we couldn't see this full list until I unlocked Reviver, for example. So it is what it is. So that's our reward for doing this, which I think is actually worth at some point. We'll take advantage of that. So that just makes life easier in the future. But for now, let's head to the plot. We're done messing around with these people. Or actually, oh, that guy just phased through me. That was interesting. I want to just compare once how much experience we get from this compared to hard mode.
Victory is ours.
Not too much different. Okay, so let's continue this way. We had our fun with the guards. So I believe this was the waiting room. So if we wanted to verify if we got everything in here, we could check it. Nothing to do at the save point. Now we could use the boon. We're apparently 1.3 grade away. Okay, chat. If we're only 1.3 grade away, fine. I will fight one more battle for it while we have access to a menu. I'll go back for that, chat. Okay, who will be my 1.3 grade?
I am ready.
Ready? Go! I will smite evil! Be gone!
Prepare yourself.
Plus we need more blast gauge, so I'm gonna block to hopefully get more. There we go, almost have one blast gauge for later. And that was an easy 2 grade. So the game will keep track of our total amount of grade acquired, but we cannot... So what makes this annoying is that we can't just acquire grade in any territory and then give it to the person. We have to acquire it in that territory. So some of the later places are just super obnoxious in order to get it. I mean, I guess we could just detect where the enemies are. I don't feel like this really makes a big difference. We won't probably level him up again, so let's just save for now. Okay, this quick save is in my way. One moment. We're getting rid of the quick saves. We don't need them anymore. Okay, so let's continue with the plot. And verify what's in these rooms, just to make sure we are not missing anything here. Does not appear to be the case. And the final door before our inevitable exit. Ah, just a bunch of empty rooms. That's kind of disappointing. Now the previously locked door leads us here. The secret passageway opens.
The rest we leave up to you.
What?
So let's get the herbs. So those are just stat boosters. We'll use them eventually. Again, I like using them as a full heal, which we'll take advantage of, I think, later in the game. Honestly, the stats they give are not groundbreaking. So again, I don't know why they're showing us all of this. I don't know why this is happening, chat, honestly. I don't know what is going on with the plot. I feel like around this point in the game, I started having a lot of questions.
Who knew the kitchen was connected to a place like this?
Like, I think they wanted to have... I think the way they storyboarded it is they wanted to have a cool chase scene in the palace, but they couldn't come up with a reasonable situation in which we would have to escape through here. So, like, our character could not have stumbled upon it because our character is stupid. I feel is what they felt. So, we had to have a reason to come into the new dungeon. And in doing so, a lot of things just kind of happen and aren't explained. Like, yeah, we know the assassins were hired, but isn't that...
The Scattered Bones knew about this route. Still, seems like an awful lot to go through just to deliver a warning.
Yeah, it does seem like an awful lot to go through to deliver a warning, Mikleo.
There should be a vista point nearby.
Apparently the dungeon is a discovery point.
A secret underground dungeon.
I sure feel a lot of malevolence. I wonder who was kept down here.
Whoever they were. No doubt they left their hatred here. Hatred against the royal family.
You shouldn't feel personally responsible.
I'm fine. Let's just look for a way out.
Some of these cells are opened. Let's be careful.
Anyway, we received a life bottle. Hi, Alicia. What do you think of this scenario? I wonder where it leads. It leads to the aqueducts. Waterway area. It's not that hard, Alicia. I guess we could try on goods. I guess we'll level up a new sword at some point. Actually, nah, it's only 3 attack. I don't care about 3 attack. Oh, hey, chat.
Is that a monolith?
Is that a monolith? No, we talked about this array. It's a tutorial. Benefits of high SC. Damage taken is reduced. Effect potential is multiplied. SC recovery rate is increased. Carefully pick your timing to be idle on the battlefield, such as when you finish a combo and your companions continue the attack. So here's an issue I have with this, is the AI is not aggressive enough, in my opinion. Because a lot of times our combo will just drop because just literally no AI companion is attacking. Like, we could potentially have 3 people striking, and they'll just, like, do, like, a single poke and stop. It's like on rare occasion they'll do a 4-hit combo, but I honestly don't know what it is that they're doing. So I think what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to try to teach them to stop being stupid. So we're gonna tell them to just... We're just gonna tell them to go all out. I hope this fixes their issue. They're not gonna block, which is the problem with this one. But hopefully we could fix their combos.
Surely this is fate. Alania is what women who become Hallians can turn into.
I suppose that could happen to anyone with a black heart.
Burning charge! Sweet dreams! Well done! Come forth! The ruins are calling me.
The ruins are calling him. Oops, I almost hit load by accident. Yeah, I just wanted to verify the difficulty. So we got a little extra AP, which is fine. Oh, I forgot to check the one thing I was looking for when I was in here. Can we see it by looking in here? I don't think so. So apparently we have a gold trophy in grade record. So good for us. Yeah, we've gotten almost no items dropped by enemies, which is fine. I thought there was another thing we could do here. No, I don't see it. So I thought there was a way to see how many monuments were left. Yeah. Oh, we can talk to him. I missed that option. I'll go anywheres as long as there's monies in it. Life may be important, but it won't buy yous a sandwich. That dark turtle. So we're seeing a lot of familiar enemies recycled into Zestiria. Anthem Ribbon Tie has a strange effect on its wearer. Oh, so she's at max, so we might as well get her to do another one. So here's an important thing to have. There's an Exceed stack, so increases the number of combos in normal state +1. That's actually pretty important to have. And we could see by stacking 3 of these, we've also increased her maximum blast gauge by 1. So I might as well start leveling another pair of earrings just because. Whatever, we don't really use art attack that much. We just have so many arbitrary and random items in here, it's amazing. We might as well also level those boots since we're here. I'm sorry, one other thing I'm gonna check. How are we doing on titles? Is anybody maxed? Oh, she's maxed. So we'll teach her a new one. Sorry, one moment, chat. Well, chat, I have very bad news. That was work calling me. So they're asking me to work very early. So I apologize, but this is going to be one of our shortest streams. So we're going to have to leave off for here, unfortunately. So let's save. So at least we got through the palace. Let's have a little conversation about events that we viewed. And then unfortunately that's going to be the conclusion of the stream. So things they could have done differently in this particular episode. I mean, the camera is forever a persistent problem in this game. So now that I figured out the problem with the back banishing button for grounded techniques, I don't see why you can't just hold it in the whole time. Honestly, I don't get why the game cannot buffer that input like it can in, I think, in Zestiria. So now that the issue has been identified more specifically, that's what they could address. We'll see more with the assassins a bit later on, but I just feel like they're very clunky in their implementation this time around. In terms of them, they just had to show up here, and that just had to cause a misunderstanding that we then go through the secret passageway through the dungeon. I'm not feeling that plot point at all. I feel like they don't really add that much to the story. Like later on we'll be involved with them a bit more closely, but honestly I feel like that's also one of the weaker parts of the game, which is we'll get into that more when that happens. But unfortunately, because the stream session was so short, we will not be seeing the third party member this time around. So I wanted to talk more about those cutscenes, so I think I'm going to have to hold that off for next weekend. So the plan will be to continue Zestiria, I think, Saturday and Sunday of next weekend. I don't see any issues there in terms of work. Maybe Saturday might be an issue, maybe. We'll see. And the only other thing I can think of is we'll be continuing the East series on Tuesday and Thursday. I don't perceive any issues with the normal streaming time there. So sorry about the short stream today, but I do thank you all for joining, and hopefully I will see you again next time.